Gregory K.Beale is a biblical scholar, currently a professor of New Testament and Biblical Theology at Westminster Theological Seminary. He is an ordained minister in the Orthodox Presbyterian Church. He has made a number of contributions to conservative biblical hermeneutics, particularly in the area of the use of the Old Testament in the New Testament. He served as the president of the Evangelical Theological Society in 2004. In 2013, he was elected by Westminster Theological Seminary to be the first occupant of the J. Gresham Machen Chair of New Testament. At his inauguration, he delivered an address titled The Cognitive Peripheral Vision of Biblical Writers. Positions held: Grove City College, Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary, Wheaton College, Westminster Theological Seminary. Works: Thesis Beale, Gregory K. The Use of Daniel in Jewish Apocalyptic Literature and in the Revelation of St. John. Cambridge, Cambridge University. Books: Beale, Gregory K. The Use of Daniel in Jewish Apocalyptic Literature and in the Revelation of St. John. Lanham, M.D., University Press of America. ISBN 9780819142900. OCLC 11091372. Published revision of Beale's 1980 Cambridge Ph.D. dissertation. The Right Doctrine from the Wrong Texts. Essays on the Use of the Old Testament in the New. Grand Rapids, Michigan, Baker Books. ISBN 9780801010880. OCLC 31207689. John's Use of the Old Testament in Revelation. Journal for the Study of the New Testament, Supplement Series. 166. Sheffield, England, Sheffield Academic Press. ISBN 9781850758945. OCLC 40981843. The Book of Revelation, a Commentary on the Greek Text. New International Greek Testament Commentary. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Edmonds. ISBN 9780802821744. OCLC 38,096,989 1–2 Thessalonians. IVP New Testament Commentary. Downers Grove Hill, InterVarsity Press. ISBN 9780830818136. OCLC 52,509,447. The Temple and the Church's Mission, A Biblical Theology of the Dwelling Place of God. New Studies in Biblical Theology. 17. Downers Grove Hill, InterVarsity Press. ISBN 9780830826186. OCLC 54,073,461. Carson, D. eds. Commentary on the New Testament Use of the Old Testament. Grand Rapids, Michigan, Baker Academic. ISBN 9780801026935. OCLC 370,811,667. The Erosion of Inerrancy in Evangelicalism, Responding to New Challenges to Biblical Authority. Wheaton Hill, Crossway Books. ISBN 9781433502033. OCLC 227,205,757. We Become What We Worship, A Biblical Theology of Idolatry. Downers Grove Hill, IVP Academic. ISBN 9780830828777. OCLC 223,907,846. A New Testament Biblical Theology, The Unfolding of the Old Testament in the New. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Baker Academic. ISBN 978-0801-02697-3. OCLC 699,760,262. Handbook on the New Testament Use of the Old Testament, Exegesis and Interpretation. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Baker Academic. ISBN 978-0801-03896-9. OCLC 775,419,951. The Morality of God in the Old Testament, Christian Answers to Hard Questions. Phillipsburg, N.J., P&R Publishing. ISBN 978-1596-38852-9. OCLC 857,893,420. God Dwells Among Us, Expanding Eden to the Ends of the Earth. Downers Grove Hill, InterVarsity Press. ISBN 978-0830844142. OCLC 880,200,011. Glad, Benjamin L. Hidden but Now Revealed, A Biblical Theology of Mystery. Downers Grove Hill, IVP Academic. ISBN 978-0830827183. OCLC 880,199,622. Ross, William A. Brensel, Daniel J. An Interpretive Lexicon of New Testament Greek. Analysis of prepositions, adverbs, particles, relative pronouns, and conjunctions. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Zondervan. ISBN 978-0310494119. OCLC 874,734,046. Revelation, A Shorter Commentary. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Edmonds. ISBN 978-0802866219. OCLC 880,378,238. Articles and Chapters. The Danielic Background for Revelation Chapters 13 to 18 and 17 to 9. Tyndale Bulletin. 31 to 163-170. The Influence of Daniel Upon the Structure and Theology of John's Apocalypse. Journal of the Evangelical Theological Society. 27, 413-423. Review article, J. W. Mealy, After the 1,000 Years. Evangelical Quarterly. 66, 229-249. Eden, the Temple, and the Church's Mission in the New Creation. Journal of the Evangelical Theological Society. 48, 5-31. Myth, History, and Inspiration. A review article of Inspiration and Incarnation by Peter E. N. Enns. Journal of the Evangelical Theological Society. 49-287-312. SR rejoinder to Peter Enns' response to G.K. Beale's Chet's review article of his book, Inspiration and Incarnation. Southern Baptist Journal of Theology. 1116-37. Did Jesus and the Apostles preach the right doctrine from the wrong texts? Revisiting the debates 17 years later in the light of Peter Enns' book, Inspiration and Incarnation. Thomilios. 32, 18-43. SR rejoinder to Peter E. N. Enns. Thomilios. 32. Festschrift. Gertner, Daniel M. Glad, Benjamin L. eds. From Creation to New Creation, Biblical Theology and Exegesis. Essays in honor of G.K.Beale. Peabody, M.A. Hendrickson Publishers. ISBN 978-1-598-56830. OCLC 871022733.